Hi, Jenny here. Going to talk just now about carbon and where we can find it here on the planet. One of the things we don't think about is where is all this carbon actually? We talk a lot about the carbon in the atmosphere. That's our big headache at the moment with greenhouse gases and climate change. Too much carbon in the air. We talk a little bit about that the soil needs more carbon. We have to increase soil carbon in order to increase fertility because that's the key to it. Are there other places where carbon can be? Like, what are the options? So there are 5 places on the planet where you can store carbon. One of them is the atmosphere, and it has way too much carbon. One is the soil, and it has way too little carbon, and we have to increase that. The other is water, salt water and fresh water. A lot of carbon stored there, but that's pretty much at saturation point. Not a lot of scope for storing more. Possibly it should come out a little bit. We can store a lot of carbon in fossil fuels, oil and gas under the ground, and as we all know, they should just stay where they are. That's not something that should be coming up, and we can't really put it down either. And the 5th place is biomass, and biomass is like the living things, like me and you and the trees and plants and everything, animals, everything that's actually alive, which stores carbon in a shorter term cycle. So these are the 5 places where carbon can be, and the key to the future is that we have to, solving climate change, is that we have to get carbon out of the air. So people talk about, what if we could make some fantastic machine and we could just like suck carbon out of the air and like store it down in the ground somehow? Wouldn't that be amazing? Like, you know, key to the future. Well, it is the key to the future, but the thing is we already have it. It's called trees. We have them by the zillion. All we have to do is look after them, plant more, and give them the best possibility for doing their work, because this is the work that trees do every single day. They've done it since the beginning of time. They absorb carbon dioxide, they turn it into biomass, that's the actual tree itself, and then they use a lot of that carbon to send down into the soil, where it feeds the soil activity, but also creates soil carbon through the activities of the underground army. So we have this fantastic carbon factory already, and this is one of the reasons we should be planting more trees and looking after the trees that we have even better, because they are doing this incredibly vital service. So 5 places where carbon can be stored: in the atmosphere, in the soil, in the water, under the ground, in fossil fuels, and in biomass. And the tree factories are working in 3 of those places, right? They are sucking down, drawing down carbon from the atmosphere. They are building carbon in the biomass, the tree itself or the plant itself. And they are also sequestering carbon in the soil. And if we do enough of this, the soil has the capacity to hold so much carbon that we could get rid of everything that's excess in the atmosphere and put it into the soil. The space for it is no problem at all to get it down there. The question is just how to make it happen, and how fast can we make it happen. So technology, yeah, maybe, but let's use the trees we have and the potential we have. So we shouldn't be losing the trees that we are losing. We need to keep them, because we need the biomass and we need the carbon transfer into the soil. And we should be planting more trees, planting more trees, planting more trees. And we are doing that. But we also need to understand why we're doing it. And if every day we just think about how can we do our bit to help remove carbon from the air and put it into the soil, then we are doing that one super big service for the planet. Plus we're creating so many other benefits along the way, like shade and a more fertile soil and blah, 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 more beauty, so many other things. But the single most important thing is that we are creating a soil carbon transfer from the atmosphere to the soil. So think about that, because it's a really important work, one that has to be done.